Today I'm making some 3D skyscrapers. I have 4 pieces of paper here. You can choose 3 or 4 pieces for your buildings. I'm going to show you how to make the skyscraper look 3D. I'm going to fold my paper in half the long way. This is so I know where the middle is. I have a nice line going down the middle of the paper. Now, starting from the middle, I'm going to take my marker or my pencil and I'm going to decide how tall my building should be. I'm going to draw near the top because I want it tall. And I'm going to draw a diagonal line going up from the middle and then another diagonal line going up from the middle on the other side. It looks like a wide letter V. Now I'm going to draw a diagonal line going towards the middle again from the outside and then going down so it looks like a diamond shape. Now I'm going to draw a straight line all the way down the middle of the paper from the bottom of the diamond. To draw windows on my buildings, I'm going to need to draw parallel lines. So part of that V shape there, I'm going to have to draw the window line going in the same way as those lines in the wide V. Then I'll draw some lines down and then another parallel line to connect them to make a window. So remember, to make your buildings look 3D, if you want to add windows on them, the lines need to go parallel to the top of your building. So parallel lines. And I'm going to draw windows all the way down. I'm doing big windows on this building, and then I'll do some different kinds of details on my other buildings. So you can choose what kind of details you want to put on your buildings. All right, next building. I'm going to fold my paper in half the long way. I'm going to draw those lines to make that V shape, but first I'll decide how tall I want my building. This one's going to be a little shorter. So diagonal line up from the middle, another one, there's the V. And then I'm going to connect them with 2 more diagonal lines to make a diamond. And then I'm going to draw a straight line down from the diamond through the middle of the paper. Now for this building, I'm just going to put a line design on it. So this is probably the easiest thing you can do. So again, parallel lines for each side of the building. So there's an easy thing you can do, an easy detail you can draw on your building. Remember the parallel lines. All right, next building, fold my paper in half the long way. Draw that wide V. Let's see, how tall do I want this one? This one's going to be short. So there's my wide V. Connect it to make a diamond. Draw a line down from the diamond. I'm going to do some rounded windows on this one. So here's my parallel lines. They're the bottom of my window, the windowsill. And then I'll just do some curved lines to connect them. These are like little rounded windows, and I'll put little balconies on them, I guess. So another idea for a detail you can put on your building. And my last building here, I'm going to fold it in half the long way. Decide how tall it is. Another tall building. Draw that wide V, turn it into a diamond. Draw the straight line down the middle. And now I'll put little windows on this one, lots of little windows. You'll notice when you're drawing details on your building, whether it be windows or just lines, that you're making a pattern. You're doing something that repeats, a line or a shape that repeats. And do not forget about the parallel lines. They're going the same way as the top of your building. They don't have to be perfect. Mine aren't perfect, but my building still looks pretty 3D. I'm just going to add a few more details to my big windows here. Thought it looked kind of plain. All your buildings could be different or they could all be the same. That's up to you. When you're done drawing on your buildings, you're going to cut at the top here, just that extra part off. So right at the top of the building, cut off that extra paper. And now you're going to collage your buildings onto a background. So I've got some different color blues or a black for you to look like sky. And you can overlap your buildings any way you want. Overlapping also shows perspective and makes things look a little more 3D or realistic. All right, I've chosen the way I want to overlap my buildings, so now I will glue them down. Make sure the bottom of the buildings are touching the very bottom of the paper because you don't want to look like they're just randomly floating. And it is it is a good idea to make your buildings different sizes, like taller or shorter, because that adds a little bit more variety. And then you can overlap them better too. Last but not least, I'm going to take some white paint because it's going to be winter soon. I'm going to add some snowflakes. You don't have to do snowflakes. You could do stars in the sky instead. But if you do snowflakes, you can put the snowflakes right over your buildings. That's overlapping. Also shows perspective. All right, now I have a 3D winter cityscape.